Good morning. Another fine cold day down here in the Florida Space Coast. The Legacy Lost Music and Radio Paradise show. And today's little overview is something you're probably very familiar with in the radio world is a Baofeng UV-82 VHF UHF handheld radio. And got this about 2 years ago. I've had no issues with it, and you're all familiar with this. Most likely, you've seen these on other videos, so I'm not going to go into too in depth because pretty much everything that's been said about these has been said. This is a slight step up from the UV5R. I believe this has one more watt, and anyway, this is held up real good. They never do explain where the lanyard goes on this. I'm not sure if you put it on the back here, or maybe loosen the screw up and put it there. But anyway, you're probably familiar with this. Uses your typical Kenwood two-prong plug here. It drops into a cradle. It's got the battery here. I've heard people having issues if they touch the back of this while they key up and they touch one of these things, they get a shock or like a RF burn. I haven't experienced that, but maybe you have. And what do you call it? I was going to say the build quality is pretty good on this. This is a little bit heavier duty and the buttons are bigger than the UV5R. That's a plus. And this is more like less of a kiddie toy radio, I guess, is a little more of a commercial grade radio, just a little bit better and bigger than the other one. One thing I did notice on where the battery slides in here, one of these, this is kind of loose. It makes a rattling noise, like when you touch it on these two. Hear that? This has got a lot of play on this side, and this one's tight. Doesn't do that. Or the two you push these in and release the battery. One of them's a little loose, so fit and finish is kind of poor. To be expected for the price. It's not a Yaesu or a Kenwood or nothing or ICOM. I still actually left the film on there. It's been on there 2 years. Sometimes I like to leave it on there because you never know when you need this. I used this during Hurricane Matthew. Came in handy for the weather bands and stuff, but I programmed this with Chirp, and you can see on the display here. Let me see if I can get this to show up.
Channel mode.
I got my name on there. It greets me. And I got all sorts of different channels programmed in here, like MERS and weather,
1, 2, 7.
GMRS, wildlife.
2,
I got
4,
the county the county's fire. Got some of the fire, the forestry channels.
1, 2, 1.
And I have it so anything that I'm not supposed to be transmitting on is locked out. So, like I'll show you something, for example.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Like this is a forestry channel. You'll hear it beep when I transmit. You won't, and it'll see that? So you can't transmit on it. I have it locked out from the Chirp software, which is a good thing. That's a good accident-proof thing to do. And like some of these, here's the weather in Orlando.
Weather roundup at 9 a.m.
This does real loud.
International Airport under mostly sunny skies.
It's a little bit louder than the UV5R. It also has the FM radio on it also. Let me find something I can transmit on. I got a lot of them locked in. Let me just find like a MERS channel here, for example. Here's MERS green, which is 154 600. So you can transmit that. It'll change color. So does that. And what else is going to say? Yeah, the good thing about this, it's not the fastest. But if you just, you can scan on it. And it scans, but the scan rate is very slow. Again, you just pause that if you want to hit that, or you can hit exit when you're scanning.
Scanning beacon.
All scanned. You can see about the, I have the repeaters and whatnot programmed in here too. And it's an excellent radio for the price. If you like a little something smaller, go with the UV-5R. This is a little bit more powerful. They even have a more powerful version of this. I believe there might even be a 220 megahertz version of some kind of Baofeng too, but no one ever uses that around here, not locally. So for me, I would have no use for a radio, the tri-band radio. And anyway, I highly recommend this. And I paired this with a Nagoya 771. Since this is a little bit bigger than the UV-5R, this is a little bit more sturdy on here. And this is pretty much the best combination that you're going to find for the bang for the buck here. So, Nagoya 771 and the Baofeng UV-82. Highly recommend. Excellent radio, good for emergencies, hams, even preppers, or whatever you may find fit there for it. So, anyway, go pick one up and highly recommend that. And thanks for your time. Give us a thumbs up. And always, and peace out. 73.